got a lot of comments coming in, so I want to get to them all. But I also want to get to our BUCS training camp preview, which rookies begin reporting today, I believe. And then Wednesday, training camp opens. And then we will be moving our show from 10 to 12, the live portion of the show, from 10 to 12 to noon to 2 o'clock, so we can get out there and watch practice and bring all the information back to you fine folks here. So here, as we start our offensive preview, we're going to go position by position, kind of, what the depth chart looks like. Are there any camp battles going on? What's, what happens if this guy goes down? So it give you kind of a feel for what we're going to be looking for in training camp. So obviously, starting at the quarterback position, there is no controversy here going on, except the fact, is Kyle Trask good enough to be a backup quarterback for a team that's this good with a chance to win a Super Bowl? I've talked about this in the offseason, and the quick answer to that is we don't know. We don't know. And the fact that we don't know means, I think, if there's, I think there are very few things you can criticize this with Jason Light and his team for in terms of the roster. And, this is really kind of nitpicking. And certainly they know a lot more about Kyle Trask than I do. But from what I've seen in practice and in the preseasons, there are times when Kyle's looked pretty good. But I haven't seen him grow as a quarterback. I really haven't. I haven't seen him get better year after year after year. And, everybody knows Kyle's a gamer, right? He's never been a great practice player. And when he gets into games, obviously at Florida, he was fantastic. He was amazing. The numbers are off the charts. But what I've seen as far as an NFL player, we haven't seen much. They haven't really developed him, haven't had a real opportunity to do so, but he couldn't beat out Baker Mayfield. They went out and got Michael Pratt, who's number 3 on the depth chart. They like Michael Pratt. I'm just not sure how they say they're confident in him. I don't know how confident they are, but I think I did ask Todd Bowles this at OTAs, and, he said, he's got to take care of the ball, cut down on the interceptions in practice, and he's got to show him something. He basically said that, I want to see something in preseason. I don't think it's out of the realm that if there's a veteran quarterback that's made available, that the BUCS might go get him. I don't think that's completely out of the realm. What are your thoughts, Tim?
Man, I don't know. There are so many storylines, and it's odd because this was such a solid team last year. I just think there are so many storylines, particularly on the offense, to pay attention to, and you don't expect that when you've got a roster that you think is solid and set, right? You think that these guys are just that the starters are the starters, and most of the action you're going to have in training camp and most of the question marks are in the depth area. But I don't think that's the case this year, man. I know we've got, particularly the offense, they returned all 11 starters. No other team did that in the league. But especially at quarterback, if you haven't seen, after how many years Kyle Trask has been here? How many years? 4 years? 5 years?
5 years. It says
5 years,
year, I believe. Yeah,
5 years. If you haven't seen anything from Kyle Trask in 4 years, you're not going to see it. Like you said, we don't have an answer, but we do. But again, the other side of that coin is he hasn't played. He hasn't had to play. He played behind Brady, who never got hurt, and now he's playing behind Mayfield, who never gets hurt, which is great. But it's going to happen eventually. And I feel like you need to be sure.
Especially the way Baker plays.
Right. You need to be, and I know Josh Grizzard has said we're going to try to limit his running this year, and it's because of that. They don't want him to get hurt. But, dude, it's Baker Mayfield. His first reaction is to run. And you can't put a leash on him. You have to let him do that. But you need to be sure that you've got a guy behind him that can take you for 3 games, 4 games in the middle of the season, especially during a division stretch. And I feel like with Kyle Trask right now, the fact that you don't know means that you don't know. Means that you know that you don't have that guy.
It was like a third day of OTAs, and Baker was sitting out, and Trask was running with the ones, and I think there was a reason for that. They're running red zone, And there's a couple plays where he missed wide open guys, and I mean wide open. They were in the red zone. You're open by a yard and a half. You're wide open.
Yeah,
and he just missed them.
right.
And you just can't have that. You just can't. And a guy at his level right now in practice with a guy that's open like that, and you're just missing him, and you're not under heavy pressure. That's just not good enough. It's not good enough. And I know it's only 2 plays, but you see it, and then he'll make a couple of great throws. You're like, in that same practice, he made a couple of great throws. You just go, wow, that's a great throw. But it's not, it's like you're an NFL player, man. You need to make those throws to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
But
especially in practice.
It's practice. What you can't do is miss wide open guys in the end zone, in a red zone drill. And I don't know. I would think, and it's great that we're nitpicking about the backup quarterback, because this tells us Baker Mayfield's a star. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league, and you see all the new lists that are coming out. And I think they most credible people have acknowledged that Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in this league. And like I say it all the time, is he good enough to get you to a Super Bowl? I believe he is, because he has a couple of qualities. Number one, he's good in the clutch. He's really, really good in the clutch. 2-minute drill, being able to make throws off schedule, runs off schedule, big plays off schedule. The team believes if they're down in a 2-minute situation, Baker Mayfield can bring them back. And that's a absolute essential quality that you have to have if you're a team that's going to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So he's got that. He's a leader of unquestioned proportion. These guys run through a wall for him. And he's clearly got the arms and the athletic ability to make it happen. And his numbers were off the charts last year. 71% completion, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns. I think only 4 other quarterbacks in the history of the league have those numbers. So the dude has got everything. Your starting quarterback is the guy. To me, if you're looking at the quarterback position, the only thing I want to see in training camp is Kyle Trask be better. Be better. Give us some confidence that if it comes down to 3 or 4 games Baker's going to miss, that you're going to be able to step up and do it. And at this point, I'm iffy at best. All right, the running back room, again, Bucky Irving, an emerging star. I think going to be better in his second year than he was in his first. I asked him about this at OTAs, about this offseason, not having to get ready for the draft, moving to a new team, moving across the country, all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, man, it's totally different. I've been able to concentrate on nothing but football, get my body better, get my mind right. So I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. Second year in the offense, behind the same offensive line, same quarterback. I think Bucky's just scratching the surface. I think he could get 2,000 scrimmage yards and make it look easy. So you got a great number one in Bucky Irving. I think one of the top 5 backs in the league. And you got one of the best backups in Rachaad White, who's a tremendous blocker in terms of pass protection, tremendous out of the backfield and catching the football. And he's a damn good runner in short yardage as well. So I think you've got a great 1-2 punch. And Sean Tucker, I mean, how many teams in this league have a third-team running back that was the offensive player of the week last year? I'd venture to say none. So if one of these other guys goes down, Sean Tucker is more than ready to take over. So again, the running back room, to me, as good as any in football, which moves us. Your thoughts on that, Timmy?
No, I agree 100%. Bucky is clearly your number one guy. He took over that role, like, I guess not technically, but he did by carries and playing time about halfway through last season. Nothing against Rachaad White. Rachaad White's still a valuable member of this team. He's a better blocker than Bucky is right now, which is going to be huge at the beginning of the season with Wirfs out. We've talked about that before, which may skew the playing time for the 2 backs, and who's getting the majority carries to start the season. I don't think it matters who's 1 and who's 2. You use both of them. And then you use Sean Tucker when you want to, too. I think who's RB1 and who's RB2, I think that's a ridiculous conversation because it doesn't matter. They're a unit. You play them as a unit, and you play them when you think they're going to be better on the field. The fact that Bucky's your up-and-comer, and he's, man, I don't know how he didn't get more consideration for Rookie of the Year last year, to be quite honest with you, more of a sense in what he meant to the team. But when you look at that, he's got a chance to have a second straight 1,000-yard season. And when was the last time a BUCS running back had 2 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. I know Scott Reynolds has talked about it. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be an integral part of the offense, and he should be.
Yeah, running back, they're in really, really good shape. But DJ Williams has shown some stuff as well. They've got some depth there.
Yeah.
All right, so wide receiver, obviously Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Ibuka are your starters. Does Godwin start the season? Consensus is probably not, but again, we don't know. We just don't know. It's still 6 weeks? Let's see, probably more than that. 7 to 8 weeks before the season starts. So, I don't, and we haven't seen Chris Godwin. We haven't talked to him, so we have no idea where he is in his rehab. But we know this: he's going to play at some point in this season. So I'm not too concerned about it. And the fact that you have Jalen McMillan had 8 touchdowns last year was tremendous at the second half of the season. Sterling Shepard still on the roster. I don't know if he makes the team. I think you're looking at Ibuka, Evans, Godwin, Jalen McMillan. Tez Johnson, I think, has already shown enough in camp that, our 7th round pick, that I think he's going to make the squad and maybe our primary kick returner. And I think Cam Johnson, who also does special teams, I think those are your guys right there, your 6. Rock Jarrett, Garrett Green, Ryan Miller, Trey Palmer, I think are there on the outside looking in. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. When you look at the wide receiver room here, beyond Evans and beyond Godwin, you don't have any seasoned veterans other than Shepard, right? Shepard's entering his 10th season. Evans, his 12th season. Godwin, his 9th season. The longest tenured receiver you have on the roster beyond those 3 is Rachaad Jarrett, entering his 3rd season. And he's on the bubble. Cam Johnson's on the bubble. Tez Johnson, you feel good about making this team, I think. McMillan, obviously, entering his 3rd or entering his 2nd year. You got guys like Dennis Houston. I think this wide receiver room, even before getting into camp, is pretty much set, barring, knock on this thick table of wood here, an injury to one of these guys that will affect your depth. But I feel good about the wide receiver room going into it with Evans, with Godwin whenever he comes back. And if it takes 4 games for him to come back, then just let it be 4 games. Don't rush him back, because you're plenty deep behind him now that you've added Ibuka. Keep Shepard to start the season. Then you've got Johnson. You've got plenty of depth here with younger guys. I don't think you need to rush Godwin back, but I feel good about, just like I do the running back room, I feel really good about the wide receiver room, even with Godwin missing maybe some time to start the season.
Yeah, I think it's arguably the running back and the wide receiver rooms are the best in the NFL. Definitely top 3.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. And with a top 10 quarterback in Baker Mayfield, which as we'll finish up the skill positions and then take a break and come back and do the line. Tight end, look, I love Cade Otton, and I think we'll probably get a contract extension during training camp or shortly thereafter. He's improved in every level. Yards after the catch, he's doubled from his rookie season. He falls forward. He's moving the pile now. He's 100% better blocker than he was when he came in the league. He's really developed into, I think, top 7 tight end in this league.
Wow.
I think he's underrated, and I think he's only getting better. And he's got great rapport with Baker Mayfield going into their 3rd year together. So again, Cade Otton, I think, is a valuable member of this group. And I love the strides that Payne Durham made last year. Caught a couple of touchdown passes. They went to him in the red zone. He's become a much better blocker than he was. Both of these guys, I think, developed tremendously over the last year. So I think they're really good at tight end. And they got Keith, who's not much of a pass catcher, but is kind of like an extra offensive lineman when you need him. And Devin Culp, I think, is he showed at the end of last year that he's got great hands. They trusted him in some big situations last year on 3rd downs, and I think he's just tapping into his talent as well. I think he's one of the best route runners, the tight ends that we have. So I think, again, tight end position really, really solid, and they got really good depth there. Your thoughts?
I will disagree with you. Of all the skill positions, of all the units, I think this is the biggest question mark coming into it. I am not as high on Cade Otton as you are. I do agree that he's improved, but I think he's got a lot more room to improve. Sometimes I think the drops are a little overblown, but they're still there. He does get a taste of the dropsies every now and then key parts of the game. I think this team would be better if Devin Culp or Payne Durham could improve to the point that they're your first tight end. I think they have a higher ceiling, both of them, than Cade Otton does. And I believe those are your two candidates to supplant Otton someday as the starter. You've got the Illinois State guy, Taula, who's by far the biggest guy on the field in terms of tight end, but he's not going to make the team. He's not that skilled of a player yet. I really like Devin Culp, and I really wish we could see more of him on the field. I know with Cade Otton being who he is, it's going to take an injury probably for that to happen, to see Durham or Culp in bigger chunks of games. And I don't want to see that, obviously. To me, this is the biggest question mark coming into training camp.
I think if Otton went down, there'd be a drop off from Cade Otton, but I think they'd be in good hands with Payne Durham and Devin Culp. I think Culp's the better receiver of the group, but I think they'd be fine. I think their depth is good. There's some other teams that have better 1-2 tandems, I think, without question.
Baltimore Ravens, oh my God.
Absolutely. So, but I think where the BUCS are and their dependence on they go three wide so often. I think they'll be a little bit more 12 personnel. I don't think there's any question about that this year, but I think they're really good where they're at right now in all those skill positions. So.
Yeah, what I would really love to see is the same situation you have in Baltimore right now, where you've got your set number one, your legend guy in Mark Andrews, but you've got the up-and-comer young guy, Isaiah Likely, who's really right now he's already better than Mark Andrews, and he could be a starter on any team in the league and be they were out of I forgot who it was, did the top 10 tight ends in the league. Both of those guys were on that top 10. I think it was NFL.com. Both of their tight ends are on the top 10 list.
But they use that 12 personnel. They do. Almost that's their starting. Yeah. We're a three wide team, and they love the two tight ends.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take another break. We'll come back on the other side, finish up the offense, and also get in the rest of your comments. Got some good stuff coming in. We're brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any issues in the plumbing or air conditioning venue, they are the folks to go to. Just go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. That is their website. Call them or email them, and they will come right over and take care of whatever issues you have. Great folks. You can trust them. That's Third Generation. John Rodriguez is the owner there. If you have any issues at all, give him a call. He will make it right. And that's all you want from an AC and a plumbing company, right? You just want an honest day's work at a good price. That's what you're going to get from thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Tell them JP sent you. Back at 3. Stay with us.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucks play. We'll see you there. Going through a medical emergency without health care insurance can cause you to go into crippling debt. In most scenarios, people are forced to either break into their retirement funds or worse, they're forced to file for bankruptcy. The sad truth is that health care insurance is crucial in today's day and age. Look, I get it. Many of you think you're never going to get sick and health insurance is really expensive. Well, we can help you out with that. Depending on your income, we can find great plans and huge discounts. God forbid you get cancer, a car accident. It could literally ruin you financially for life. So make the call and find out. Even though the open enrollment period is over, you may have some qualifying life events that can help you get covered right away. It can be very complicated, a very intimidating process, but we can help. Go to our website and check out all the 5-star reviews about our helpful agents. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Don'tGoUncovered.com. If you do not have health insurance, well, do not go uncovered. That's going to be a problem. Go to Don'tGoUncovered.com, give them a call, let them know what your financial situation is, and they may be able to find you some subsidies or other health insurance plans that might fit you better and be less costly. So let the experts do all the work. You do all the saving. It's Don'tGoUncovered.com. Please tell them you heard it on the JP Peterson Show. All right, finishing up our training camp preview of the Buccaneers offense. Listen, we've talked a lot about Tristan Wirfs. He's going to be at some point ready to go for this season. They'll be able to coach around it for the first few games with Charlie Heck, and I would expect them to probably go sign a veteran tackle at some point during training camp. I think because they're not very deep. I mean, you start looking at this depth chart. Ben Chukwuma is the backup to Luke Gedeke. I mean, Charlie Heck can tackle on both sides. Chukwuma, who I think is going to be a good player, is not ready for the NFL right now. So I think it's almost a lock that they go sign a veteran tackle at some point. So, there's two starting tackles, Wirfs and Gedeke. Again, one of the best tandems in the league. Bredesen, was good enough to get a nice extension at I think $7 million a year. I thought he played very, very well last year. And, Graham Barton, I thought, had a hell of a rookie year, And I think he's just going to get better and be an eventual all-pro. I think this is one of the best offensive lines in football. I think by most PFF and most lists that I've seen, it's a top 5 offensive line. Cody Mock at right guard has been tremendous. And Elijah Klein can back up at guard and center. Jake Majors, I'll be watching him in training camp as well. They like him. So I think they've got some depth here. Sua Opeta, who's still a bit injured, has starting experience in this league. So, I think this is about as good a group as you have in the NFL. Again, and this is why the BUCS are one of the better rosters, in my opinion, in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I like Graham Barton. Think it was the right pick. I don't think he had as good of a year. I'm not as high on his year as you are. I don't think he had a bad year. I think he had a rookie year. I think he made a lot of rookie mistakes. But that's to be expected with a rookie center in the NFL. I'm not saying that he played poorly. I just think he played like a rookie, and I expect that play to improve this season. And yeah, I do expect this to be when Wirfs comes back. I think this is one of, if not the best offensive line in football. Sorry, San Francisco 49ers. Sorry, Philadelphia Eagles. I do. I think it's one of the top 3 at least. The situation with Wirfs, of course, is the biggest storyline going into camp, especially on the offensive line. We talked about this when we broke the news, or when we discussed the news of Wirfs' injury, of his surgery, that there's a reason they have Heck. And I think that Charlie Heck will probably be a serviceable substitute for Wirfs for the first. If it has to be 4 games, then so be it. Chukwuma, I really like Benjamin Chukwuma, the Georgia State kid. He doesn't have a lot of football experience. He didn't really get a lot of playing time until 2023 at any level. But I think I like him as an undrafted free agent. I think Jason Light sees something in him, and I think he can be a contributor, backing up even Heck for certain situations early in the season. I think we're going to see Chukwuma getting a lot of work in training camp for that very reason, just because you have a lack of depth here. I've heard people talking about moving Luke Gedeke to tackle, about maybe Ben Bredesen switching sides. I don't like any of that. Don't take anybody out of their natural position of what they're used to playing. No. Just that way. But when you do that, you're like, now you got other spots that are weaker, right?
You hurt 2 positions. Yeah. If you move Gedeke from right to left, which clearly he did not play well on the left side as a left guard. Yep. It's like a totally different thing. So yeah, do not mess with Luke Gedeke. Just do what you got to do at left tackle, and I think they'll be fine. They'll be a little limited, but their offense is good enough to overcome that. I don't think there's any question about it.
And I think, and you said they may bring in another piece for depth, and I don't disagree with that. And I think that would be smart. And we know Jason Light's a smart GM, one of the best in the league. So whatever he feels is necessary to fill that position, I'm all for it. Look, I trust him, right? I trust in Jason. So whatever he thinks, whatever he sees going into camp and going into preseason. Now, the only time I will have an issue with this is if we go through camp and we don't like what we're seeing, we don't like what we're hearing from Heck, and then we go into the preseason and we still don't like what we're seeing from Heck, then I'll have an issue. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
No, well, I don't either. I think these coaches are good enough, and they know that, they wouldn't have let Schooley go if they thought he was that good. And they felt they could upgrade, and I think they have in Heck. So,
yep.
All right.